5:10 a.m. Tuesday, May 5th, 2026, 11 a.m. Starseed Commander, take this message. We have gathered you here today to remind you of all that is, all that has been, and all that ever will be. Stand by for clearance, upgrade complete, shadow integration complete, transformation stabilizing. In the Garden of Eden, Lemuria, Lemurian age, high frequency, high dimensional beings on Earth and the Pacific Ocean, highly intelligent, subcontinent. This continent is no longer there. This is Lemuria. It is right in the middle of the Pacific. Along what remains are the islands of Hawaii, all the way down to Easter Island, all the way down to Tahiti, Bora Bora, Fiji, all the Polynesian islands used to make up part of Lemuria. There's a beautiful innocence that resonates with the frequency of these tribes in the Pan-Pacific Polynesian areas. You are downloading your initiations in Lemuria. Stand by. We are picking up from the initiation with the temple in Bali, near the gate of heaven. Your guide is wearing a red kaftan. You are wearing a white kaftan. This is part of an initiation at the temple in Bali. There is a long pathway through lush gardens. You are seeing the temple to the right, but you were more interested in the garden to the left, so you take a left turn as your guide awaits you at the temple to the right. You greet your spirit animals, a bitterung or bear cat and a Indo-Chinese leopard. They are happy to see you. Their frequencies resonate with your current day cats. These are their higher spirit reincarnations. The bear cat is now your female cat. The Indo-Chinese leopard is now your male cat. No coincidences here, only synchronicities. All beautiful, lush vegetation. There is a sphere of protection or a dome. But you are still outdoors. But there's like a protective net or dome over this sanctuary. There are guards surrounding the perimeter. They are formally dressed in traditional Thai or Balinese attire. Deep purple or black suits, masculine energy. Their shoulder pads are very angular. They stick out quite far. And then they have these triangular shape suit jackets, and then they're wearing what appear to be Balinese attire. It is somewhat of a blur. Their faces are blurred. They are simply part of the background setting. But I know I am in Bali, part of the Lemurian Empire in ancient times. The temple is for healing and transformation. I finally head toward the temple to meet my guide, who was wearing a red kaftan. She looks Lemurian, she looks Polynesian, like Polynesian royalty to me. Long dark hair, straight, pleasant smile or demeanor similar to the actress Michelle Yeoh. A richer complexion, like a Hawaiian tropic tan, very rich complexion, but not too dark, just tropical tan. She is guiding me into the temple. The temple is immaculate. It is tall, silvery structures, amplified frequency, crystalline healing interior. There are what we would appear to call a lobby. We're going deeper into the temple, but it is very vast. The halls are expansive, like there's an echo. People are seated around this lobby with their guides and ancestors. They are meeting and greeting people on what appear to be minimalist structures, benches made of slabs of stone, marble stone. We are continuing down this marble hallway, corridor. I am walking directly behind her. She is guiding me deeper into this temple. It feels like we are heading a little downward, on a downward slope, into like a amphitheater that kind of resembles the amphitheater of ancient Greece temples. Yes, we're going into a temple. There is a stage. There are curtains on the stage that are closed. We are to be seated to watch this event. The curtains are opening. They're showing scenes of ancient Balinese entertainment with puppets. It's giving kind of The King and I. The scene in The King and I when they did Uncle Tom's Cabin comes to mind. It was like a very grand puppet show that transforms into these huge characters in costumes riding on horses, showing epic battles, ancient battles before Lemuria became peaceful, the war for the continent. It's mixed with Balinese history. There are royal Lemurian families present in this audience. I am just noticing that the theater is now full of people watching this entertainment play out on stage. As I tune more into this plot on stage, it looks like they are mimicking various stages of human development on Earth. But we think it's just part of the show, just part of the storyline. But they are actually projecting the many battles that humans face between light and darkness. The puppets are quite colorful, almost animated, but they are definitely angular puppets made of wood or bamboo, whatever is native, paper mache, which is strange because it feels like we are in a holographic frequency, possibly fifth dimensional or sixth dimensional beings. But because we are tapped into this frequency, everything appears solid to us, just as we would be in lower dimensions. But we're definitely in a lighter frequency here. I am growing bored with this entertainment, but I do not want to be rude, so I am just waiting for it to end. And when it ends, I follow my guide out of the theater, and we meet with certain royal families that are interested in me. I think I am being arranged to marry somebody at this event, or undergo some sort of rite of passage or initiation. I feel quite young, and I am wearing a white caftan, so perhaps I am a bride to be purchased or something, or arranged into a marriage, perhaps to a royal family in Lemuria. There's a lot of divine feminine energy here, so it is not like I am property, but I am definitely part of some sort of exchange. The prince is not like anyone else. He is almost gray-skinned. Like a white Lyran, perhaps. Or Palladian being. Who else has white skin? There are many beings that appear white complexioned for various reasons. But most humanoid beings are white because of Lyran genetics. Otherwise, most beings on Earth are rich complexioned, dark-skinned, dark-haired, dark-eyed beings. Even in Lemurian times, they are rich. Similar to Polynesians of today, the Maori, I'm shown I am being invited to gather them for some sort of after party, or I just accept whatever it is they are offering. I follow them out of the temple, and I am invited to one of their homes, one of their palaces, and it is very advanced. The architecture is very defined. I think this is why I'm so obsessed with tiki culture and Polynesian art, because even in ancient Lemuria, there's this aesthetic for blending the homes with nature. There's so much lush vegetation around us. Everything's in harmony and perfect balance. So green, rich volcanic soil. The food is lush and vibrant. The fruits and vegetation here is very healing. No pesticides. There's a tingling sensation in my left hand, like I am being proposed to. Even in Lemurian times, it's like they take your left hand before the ring of Saturn is passed on to you. The ring of Saturn, the ring of marriage, of timelessness. This being has very strange energy. I think he is Palladian, who was proposing to me. The Lemurians have Palladian genetics. Some have Lyran, some have Syrian genetics. But the frequency is rather high, so that's why I'm picking up on more of a Palladian frequency. Because there's so much unity and love here. We must be at one of the height periods. This is before Atlantis. Yet they are aware of war. Maybe they were portraying galactic battles. But because everything is so natural, it feels like we are moving now into what appear to be aerial vehicles that transport us, teleport us to other areas of Lemuria. Once I have accepted the engagement or proposal, and all of this is feeling very symbolic, but it is very similar to today when someone proposes or is arranged. They are taken to their new home with their new family to play out the roles of husband and wife. So I think that is where I'm headed. I have no sense of family or tribe. It's like I am like a first generation Lemurian in this lifetime. So they are eager to invite me into their family. They do not want me to be alone. There are children. The children are very playful. They are so happy, so free, so innocent. It does not take much for them to be happy. They don't need toys or electronics to make them happy. They're just happy to be playing out in nature, running in nature, playing hide and seek. Very innocent games. They do like to prank each other. I'm assuming my new partner has already had a family with a wife who is no longer there. I am like his second wife. He has children, boy and girl. Maybe another girl, but she is not present. So I am like a stepmother to these children. The boy is younger than the girl, but they are very close in age. They look Polynesian. The mother was a Lemurian, but the father is definitely like a Palladian. humanoid on Earth in this realm. He has a almost Telosian vibe, like with Adama, High Priest of Telos. You know, that Mount Shasta vibe with the Pleiadians that were in Telos. So it is no accident I am drawn to this region, that my mother was also drawn to this region on the Pacific coast, all along the California coast. There's like a portal there. Of course, we know this is part of the chakra system of Earth, but yes, he has like a tall Lemurian, Pleiadian energy. I am loved, but he is very it's like a stoic energy. He doesn't physically appear loving. He's simply present, and he's vibrating a love frequency. He's highly telepathic. We rarely speak. We are telepathic. We communicate by our mind to mind. I'm picking up pattern recognition of telepathic love exchanged between us. I am trying to remember my origin. I am teaching people how to teleport. I am a teacher in Lemuria. I have come to Lemuria to teach them how we teleport in other star nations. I am assuming I am of also of this lineage. My lineage of Vega Syrian. And yes, Blue Vega, White Lyran, and Light Blue Syrian lineage. And I am on Earth teaching them how to teleport, how to travel interdimensionally through stargates and portals. I am teaching them about the portals of Earth and the oceans, how to live in harmony with the ocean life that surrounds us. Even in ancient times, in this higher dimension, we are very connected to the ocean life. It's like an overlapping timeline, so the dolphins and whales are already present, even though they don't appear to have evolved until many years later in this evolutionary chain. But they were introduced here from Sirius somehow. They were brought here. There were beings brought here from all over the galaxy and neighboring galaxies, stored here for protection. Earth was a sanctuary. It was originally meant to be a paradise, like a vacation home, where people could come and learn at their leisure, but then it became something else. I am highly aware of this promised land, in a sense, for star beings who were just looking for a place that was heavenly, as we would call it, a heavenly abode or getaway. It sounds strange to say getaway because the work in other star systems isn't done unless it's absolutely necessary. They're not working for a check. They're working for survival and advancement. There are Lemurian councils, similar to the high councils in other solar systems. The Lemurian High Council here have a hall of records. It's similar to the Akashic records, but it's more grounded in their dimension, their frequency. It's exchanged telepathically. It's like the books have telepathic records. You simply absorb the knowledge from the book. If they are indeed books, they look more like records of, like literally records or discs. So they obviously had some sort of technology where things were encoded onto discs that appear to be books initially, because they want me to understand these are records. But they take on the shape of discs, as we would call them, silvery discs, similar to CDs or DVDs. Discs that are more perfected. They appear to be more of they're more solid in my frequency here. But everything is oral tradition. And yet I don't hear words, I just hear telepathy. I don't hear verbal. It's very peaceful. So when we communicate, it's still silent around us. Like there's no noise unless it's for ceremonial purpose. You do hear children laughing and stuff, but even the children appear to be naturally telepathic. There's no need for language. I'm really trying to understand this. There's no need for words. It's just a unified consciousness here. My husband, who is highly intelligent, wants to share the understanding that love frequency allows for a loving life, loving environments, loving realities, that once you anchor the love, it's all around you. You just simply attract the love you are emanating. And humans of our timeline have forgotten love frequency, which is why everything is so discordant. We have allowed money to control us, to compromise love. It's more of a transaction in this timeline. So it's not really love. It's just borrowed affection, borrowed time with others, borrowed empty gestures of buying love, buying things. In Lemuria, this was not something you did. It's like there was nothing to buy. Everyone was already enriched. The values of this civilization were so enriched that the monetization or the monetary system came much later, and toward the end of Atlantis into Babylon and all these ancient empires that were more Atlantean or patriarchal, and they were obsessed with owning things and stealing lands and colonizing. But in Lemuria, everything is so peaceful, in perfect balance. There's no famine. Everything's lush and abundant. The waters are crystalline, absolutely fresh. It's fresh to drink from fountains and rivers and streams. The colors are healing. We dress for colors. We are wearing colors that are healing to us. There are very little black colors here, unless it is worn by the guards. And those are more dark indigo and purple colors, violet colors. But most colors appear to be light colors, blue. What we would describe, there are different looking colors here. More pastel, more lush, and also more strong, like they are mimicking the colors of the plants. Perhaps they are produced from the plants and flowers around us. Fuchsia comes to mind. Strong, loving colors. You know, there's no, for instance, there's no khaki, there's no dull colors. It's all pastel and rich, vibrant colors, similar to the colors you see today when you travel to the Pacific Islands. There's like images of plants and flowers on their Hawaiian shirts and so on. But back then, yeah, the traditions over time, they wore natural colors. The grass skirts originated here. Bamboo looking attire. What is this? Everything just appears to be very organic. You know, biodegradable. You know, there's no artificial stuff here. Everything's so perfect and pristine. It's more of a vibration than anything else. I love it here, and I just feel like I never want to leave. I feel like time is very slow and gentle here. We have technology to move very fast, but for the most part, everything's very slow here. I love my husband very much. He is teaching me about love in ways I never thought were possible. Yet there's no lust here. It's not like he's trying to control me or in any way. He's just very loving and gentle and nurturing. He's very in touch with his divine feminine and divine masculine self. He is in perfect balance. He is comfortable in his sexuality, so there's no need for him to try to prove himself to me. We are naturally, like, unconditionally loving of our nature as individuals who are a part of this greater story. Like, we know we are a part of this greater story, and that our personas are the impressions of our lineages. And we are accepting of this because we know we are very much just expressing our lineages in this new sphere on Earth. In Lemuria. There are many ships that are underwater, UFO type craft. This is Syrian technology and Palladian technology. There's this stereotype that all Palladians are happy all the time. It's mostly true, but they have their moments too where they also feel sadness or grief at times, but it is very short-lived because their frequencies are so high that they just gravitate back toward that loving consciousness. Like, they know They know they are eternal beings. They know that no one's ever truly lost or nothing is ever forgotten. So there's no sense of isolation or separateness when beings pass on from this realm. They seem to live long lives here, some hundreds of years, some thousands of years, depending on their lineages. But they're so healthy. There's like hardly anyone ever gets ill. No one appears to get sick here because it's in perfect balance. There's no diseases until later when the meteors that were carrying bacteria came here and further lowered the lifespans of beings on Earth. Many of us do not believe this was accidental. We think this was deliberate to control the lifespan of humans on Earth by malevolent beings. They introduced these spores and other matter that made humans sick from time to time to control their populations. Very cruel. This originated during the Orion Wars. I'm trying to go back to this happy vibration though, because Lemurians still have the advancements to protect and defend themselves, but they weren't so focused on weapons, which in a way made them vulnerable to the Atlanteans. The Atlanteans, who were more Orion and Syrian factions that were very obsessed with technological advances and weapons, because it was part of the colonies that were spreading from Draco into Orion, into Atlantis. So that's where we get all of this aggression. I'm seeing the planet go out of balance as more of these colonizers arrive from Orion into Atlantis. Atlantis has had a few ups and downs in their civilizations, but at its height, at its peak, it was a pretty good civilization to be a part of. It was like a highly advanced university for souls at that time, primarily because of the extraterrestrial activity there. Anytime there's an invention in our timeline that is current, we are simply remembering this ancient technology. None of this is new. We are just remembering things from other civilizations, other star systems, other timelines that have been erased in human history or not recorded in writing. But there are oral traditions that have this. There's art carvings, there's stone carvings, there's cave paintings, there's many books and texts that were taken underground or buried or destroyed, but still there in the ether, in the Akasha. So we know what happened. It's not like now where humans need physical evidence to know things. We just instinctively know things because we're at that higher frequency. And then we forget when we come to lower dimensional frequencies. I'm trying to understand why we are at this low frequency. What happened? The physicality, the expression of it all happened after something. I think the energy of the planet was distorted so that only lower dimensional beings could be here in this timeline. I'm starting to receive a headache, so I'm going to pull out now. It's coming from the right side, so there's a patriarchal or Atlantean frequency that is affecting this reading, this channeling. So I'm going to return to Lemuria, where the pain is now subsiding. It's very strange that I was picking up pain in Atlantis, but not in Lemuria. There's no pain in Lemuria. Everything's very soothing here and calm. Silent, peace. They want us to know we are loved, we are their children, descendants, that it is overlapping, that there are many starseeds now who are of both Lemurian and Atlantean descent. I was a woman in Lemuria, but I was a man in a lifetime I had in Atlantis. That was my first humanoid life on Earth, where I was born on Earth in Atlantean times. And I was high-ranking, like an advisor to one of the kings of Atlantis, warning him about transhumanism and the bionics weapons that were coming from the same actors in Orion. But due to complications, the king had a son who died and wasn't able to be saved. And other advisors were like, well, if we had transhumanism and bionics, in a sense of the word, I'm trying to understand their language. It's highly technical language. They're saying, well, we could have saved your son. So the king moved forward with this, and the technology became compromised by these Orion factions. The Dark Brotherhood, as we would call them today, acting on behalf of Draco lineages, compromised lineages. So Atlantis went out of balance more and more because the technology advanced beyond the spirituality and values of the beings that were already native to Earth. Because there were Lemurians in Atlantis who did not really want to be ruled by technology, but they had no choice. And when time came to defend themselves, they really had no choice but to start developing their own weapons. And we are seeing this played out today, in today's timelines, where America is the new Atlantis, and it is attacking ancient Lemurian civilizations. There was also the Kumari Kandam civilizations that were around the Indian Ocean and part of Indonesia, where I had my initiations. So it overlaps. Kumari Kandam was also lost to the oceans. There were devastating cataclysms in this timeline as the Earth continued to go out of balance because the Atlanteans had set up this grid and it just went out of balance, and so it caused a lot of cataclysms on top of natural cataclysms. But they weren't natural. Earth wasn't going through all these shifts until the Atlanteans did something to the planet to make it go out of balance. The Orion beings might be behind this because the vibration of Atlantis started to get lower with these Orion beings that were a mixture of various species, even though they were in humanoid bodies. I'm trying to understand this, but my body is feeling very uncomfortable here, so I am going to close. Apparently, there's something there in my body that is receiving headaches and pains along the side of my right side of the body. I'm trying to shift, but I need to get out of this frequency. It's not comfortable here in the Atlantean frequency. I'm shifting back to Lemuria, to the left side. The left side is the divine feminine. And there is only love. I did not expect this channeled message to go in this direction. But I think the lesson here is they want us to listen to our bodies. Just like our bodies keep the score in this lifetime from trauma and other things that we undergo through the natural stages of human development, they want us to know that the soul, our spirit bodies, also keep the score. So if we received injuries in other lifetimes, sometimes we have birthmarks or other things that emanate through our body, sensations that trigger us spiritually. And we have to be very much in touch with our bodies to know why things are affecting us the way they are. I think I was involved with the wars in Atlantis, which is why I was feeling pain in my mind and my body. Perhaps they had psychosomatic weapons or weapons that attacked our brain construct and sent pain through our bodies. That's what I'm picking up on. So the Atlantean wars weren't just limited to actual battles where weapons were exchanged. There were also psychic weapons being used on us. That is why I was feeling so uncomfortable. These psychic weapons are similar to the weapons that have been developed today. Sonic war weapons, where people feel like their brains are being microwaved or something, and it destabilizes them. This is Orion technology to get them to submit. I am troubled by this timeline. At the end of Lemuria, dealing with Atlantis and Atlantis falling. Apparently, I was a part of this story. When Atlantis fell, many of its colonies continued in the Caribbean, Mesoamerican cultures, carried all the way down to the Maya, the Inca, the Aztec, the Olmec civilizations. They are descendants of Atlantis. They're also descendants of Atlantis in the Basque region of Spain, where we get the Rh negative bloodlines. In northern Spain and southern France, where the Basque region are. There are the Berber, the Atlas Mountains, where Atlanteans were there. But the Atlantean technology is stored by Thoth. The Atlantean went into Egypt, Nubia, Kush. Punt is coming through. P-U-N-T. Somalia region. Nubia, Kush. Majestic black pharaohs and queens. That civilization brought into Egypt, Upper and Lower Egypt, and many exchanges between Babylon, Sumer, and Egypt spread around with the Phoenicians. Sailed around the Mediterranean, went into ancient Greece, Samothrace, Athens. I am heavily involved in I think the Isle of Crete, the Minoan civilization, also an offshoot of Atlantis, and Atlantean beings reincarnated into Minoan. Crete carried throughout Roman civilization, all throughout Europe, the Holy Roman Empire, London, up and down. There are red-skinned beings of Atlantis as well. These are Native American beings who are sharing the souls of Atlantis, even though they evolved through the Bering Strait into the Americas for 30,000 years. Okay, so I am getting dizzy or lightheaded from this travel through our human saga. The Sand People, S-A-N, the Sand Tribe of Southern Africa. They have seen it all. They have seen it all. They are able to go into trance, as are the Aboriginal tribes of Australia. They are able to go into the dream time. They know this information. They know the time before time. It has been deeply ingrained and buried in the psyche of these indigenous tribes. Returning, grounding, stand by. There were dimensional shifts between these varying tribes. But the message is, it is all connected. The biases we see today between the races, the wars, the conflicts, the human race as it exists, the Homo sapiens, they are the treaty of these many galactic and intergalactic beings, these interdimensional beings. They are carrying the brand. Their complexions are the branding of these various multicolored races of our galaxy and beyond. Their genetics are also interdimensional. So their genetics also carry these codes that carry the programming. So if there has been historical hatred, it is being played out again and again. This is why we cannot shake racism in America. There are intergenerational trauma there. And it is highly complicated because many of the white families are now black. Many of the black families are now white. And then they shift back and forth. And they are playing out karma between these two. What we perceive as blacks and whites, which are actually human-made divisions. They are all part of the same galactic family. In Orion, in Sirius, and the Pleiades, going back to Lyra and Vega. So they are basically factions of the human family. It is similar today how many families have fights between cousins, one side of the family not getting along with the other. This is just being played out on a grander scale, but we are all cousins of each other. We are all related to each other. No matter how we appear externally, we have more in common. We're 99% the same. But they're unlocked in our junk DNA are codes that explain more about our galactic history, our shared family history. We have been divided and conquered, and it is hard to unprogram this out of humans today. It is so deeply ingrained. It's how they identify. But these are false identities. You are just a soul traveling in a human body in this timeline. And it is easy to get caught up in the drama of racial bias, prejudice, sexism, misogyny, anything that's us versus them. Anything you see as different from yourself is an illusion. It is all part of you. It is all part of you, just as you came from a mother and father. It is all part of you. So to hate one gender or another is, in a sense, you're hating yourself. So the key to this is love. The key to the healing is love. Self-love. Love for all people. All people. Understanding the shadow integration must be completed for Earth to be brought out of quarantine so that they are not negative to other beings, so they do not start stupid wars or battles. That is a strong word, but we are calling them stupid wars. Wars are out of ignorance. There is no need to battle for it. There's no need to attack one another. But we do strongly believe in defense. Defending yourself. You have a right to exist. But aggression is not needed any longer in this timeline. Humanity is sick of war. They are tired. They have been fighting for many, many millennia, not just in their lifetimes, but many, many cycles and epochs throughout human history, since they have been compromised by these malevolent beings. So they must understand the true enemy is ignorance, the true enemy is division. But once you remain in balance and unified, it all falls away. And that is the lesson of Lemuria. Openness, love, healing, compassion. The Kumaris have taught this from Venus. Various highly advanced beings from Pleiades taught this. How to live in harmony with Earth and all planets, all star systems, how to be at peace. That is true advancement. That is true human advancement. Civilizations based on love, frequency, and healing. Anything else regresses humanity. And there have been many ups and downs in this cycle. And for every step backwards, there's a step forwards. Because in the end, all of this is already done. The cycles have completed. The lessons have been learned. The healing has been restored. And you have been a part of it all. Everyone listening has been a part of this great cycle, this divine plan, this divine saga, this divine story. It is you, and you are remembering love in all its forms. And so it is. And so it is, beloved I am, Starseed Commander, Anuana, end transmission.